this. And then we will have a poem, Look for Me in Rainbows, and that will be by, Look for Me in Rainbows by Vicki Brown, and that will be read by Alyssa Jade, and we will go to that point.
Jasmine Marie Alexander, 17, our sweet daughter, sister, niece, best friend, passed away on November 27, 2022. Jazzy was born on April 5, 2005, in Provo, Utah, to Casey Hood and Matthew Alexander. She lived in Payson and Salt Lake Valley most of her life, as well as Idaho and Hawaii for short periods. She attended Mount Eagle Middle School in Payson and Twin Falls High in Idaho, where her favorite subjects were dance and arts. Jazzy was a tiny little ball of sass with a goofy, fun-loving personality nobody could resist. She was the baby of her siblings, but honorary big sister and often best friends to her younger cousins. They've all grown up extremely close, and her cousins were undeniably some of her best friends, especially the little ones. In Jazzy's younger years, she liked to go snowboarding with her dad. She loved spending time with her family and friends, going to the arcade with her sister Nessa, hanging with her admittedly favorite aunt, Tanya, and making TikTok videos with her cousins. She was happiest when she was reading a long novel and would always rope her sister Haley into the book, creating their own book club. Jazzy loved steak and sushi. Her mom says she had an addiction to McDonald's, especially the caramel frappes. When you walked into her room, there was always the smell of Glade's cashmere woods lingering. She enjoyed listening to music like Ariana Grande and Billie Eilish, doing her makeup, drawing, painting, and really anything art-related. Her creative side was endless. She was a beautiful dancer on stage and would practice for hours just to make sure she had every step memorized perfectly. She loved to show off her art because she was always so proud of her natural talent. Jazzy had an immense love for animals, and any animal she came in contact with instantly. She recently got a dog named Cozy. She felt most comforted by her blind service cat Ellie. She could never go very long periods without her. If she spent more than 24 hours away from Ellie, a FaceTime was always needed. There was just some of the few who had opportunity to be loved by her over the years. Jasmine was survived by her parents, Casey and Matt, stepfather Kenny, sisters Haley and Cam, and Vanessa, stepbrothers Ricky, Shady, and Jacob, twin nephews Kieran and Zephyr, niece Amber, and grandmother Marina Galindo and Gloria Bolt. She also survived by her extended but not too far family, aunts and uncles, Amy, Tanya, George, Carl, Nalene, Tiffany, Robert, Cindy, Bonnie, Diane, as well as her cousins Cheyenne, Shawnee, Damien, Logan, Carmen, Adrian, Emiliano, Javier, Esperanza. She was preceded in death by her great-grandparents, David and Nyla, and cousins Miguel. She has so much life to live. Losing Jazzy is not only a great loss to her family and friends, but the world, because she was such a bright spirit. If you didn't know her, you really missed out on such a beautiful young woman.
Look for me in rainbow. Time for me to go now, I won't say goodbye. Look for me in rainbows way up in the sky. In the morning sunrise when all the world is new, just look for me and love me as you know I loved you. Time for me to go now, I won't say goodbye. Look for me in rainbows high up in the sky. In the evening sunset when all the world is through, just look for me and love me and I'll be close to you. It won't be forever, the day will come and then my loving arms will hold you when we meet again. Time for us to part now, we won't say goodbye. Look for me in rainbows shining in the sky. Every waking moment, every waking moment, and all your whole life through, just look for me and love me as you know I loved you. Just wish me near to you and I'll be there with you.
We will now have a musical selection titled Beat You There. by Will Dempsey, and that will be played over the speaker system in here. Following that, we will have a tribute by Amy Anderson.
quite the little human. A little in size, definitely not a personality. Jazzy to most everyone. She was a goofy little ball of sass, full of energy, never afraid of an adventure. Jazzy wasn't a girly girl or a tomboy. She just fit somewhere right in between. I wasn't really sure how to do this. None of us were. So we've all just put together some memories of her that we wanted to share. Casey said, one day while she was pumping gas, she remembers Jazzy jumping out of the car. She ran right to the busy highway. Casey worried, stopped, and then looked and realized that Jasmine just took the opportunity to film a TikTok. Javi and Esperanza said that they had fun making Elsa TikTok videos with her. Emiliano says that he remembers the time they were making a TikTok and his hair was in his face and he flipped it. And when he whipped his head back, he hit her right in the face. And she looked stunned and just said, "Excuse me." Jazzy loved Esperanza, or the whole family calls her baby. We even had their own TikTok account Jazzy had put together so that they could make different videos and dances. I think she had 10 TikTok video accounts altogether. It's really important that she stayed on top of that, you know. The little ones, The little ones recall the sleepovers, or almost sleepovers, because sometimes they got a little too rowdy and I couldn't spend the night. Jazzy loved all the kids, all of them. She was their big sister and best friend. Carmen, Adriana, Emiliano, Poppy, and Baby. They loved when she came down or they got to go up and see her when she was little, probably around the age of 7. Jazzy and Damien decided that they were going to run away from home. Not to work at the circus like some of us, but they were going to run away to work at Walmart. The cops were called when the family realized that they were gone. They were found down by Pace and Market, completely opposite direction. When Jazzy, Logan, and Damien were little, they were all just a few months apart, they tried to build a fort and they couldn't make it stay, so they suckered the big sisters into fixing it and building it for them. At the most recent birthday party for the twins, Jasmine's nephews, I noticed that Jasmine was over there primping, like, "You're so pretty," because that's what she did. Telling her mom it was just really hot outside and she was bored and ready to go home. I joked with her and I said, "You know, it's not that bad. If you don't stop complaining about the heat, I'm going to throw you over my shoulder and run through the splash pad." Like every teenager, she rolled her eyes. "You wouldn't dare do that." And this is how I know I must have failed as a dad. I had to fail somewhere because none of these kids would ever say that to me. They know that I would definitely do that. She set her phone down for a split second and I took the opportunity. I ran up behind her. I picked her up and I carried her waddling to the splash pad and ran her through the water. And she must have thought that she was made of sugar because you would have thought she was going to melt. She screamed at me and said, "You ruined my hair. Going home, I hate you so much." Like most teenage girls, once she hit that point, she couldn't leave the house without a full face of makeup and her hair done. Sometimes it would take her 3 hours just to drive with her mom to pay the bills. If she did her hair and it didn't style the right way, she would just get so frustrated with it. She loved to read. She'd get involved in her books. When Jazzy and Casey moved, she had shelves and shelves and shelves of books. A couple of us almost threw our backs out trying to lift those boxes. Her mother-daughter dates. Her and Jeannie being basically inseparable. Kenny taught her how to drive. From the stories I hear, I'm not sure how the girl got her license. One time she hit a mailbox and knocked her mirror off. She loved dancing. It was a huge part of who she was. She would practice in the front room, in front of her mirror, or anywhere that she could find a space to perfect her performances so that they were great when she got on stage. She enjoyed playing Just Dance on the game system with Ricky and Jacob. Ricky and Jacob would pick on her all the time, memorizing memories of her driving the boat. When they were little, Jazzy, Damien, and Logan flushed a bar of soap down my grandma's toilet. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know. I just remember getting a call that the house was flooded and the kids were in trouble and they were hiding. I'm pretty sure that is the reason that my grandma bought a new toilet. Those three were always up to some sort of shenanigans. Jazzy was an animal lover. She made friends everywhere she went. Animal friends, not people friends. She liked the animals more than people. She loved her true crime shows, Grey's Anatomy, Vampire Diaries, and Friends. When she found out that they were taking Friends off of Netflix, she threw herself down on the floor and had a freak out like her life was over. She talked about joining the FBI when she grew up, though I'm not so sure that she wouldn't have shifted gears and just worked with animals. Like every mom, she would get frustrated with her blind cat, Ellie, sorry. Ellie was her best friend. When she would cry and follow her around the house because she wanted attention, the cat, not Jasmine, Jasmine would get frustrated because she felt smothered. I would guess that that's the equivalent to a toddler shoving her fingers in the door and mom's trying to go to the bathroom. Ellie wanted constant attention. As soon as Ellie calmed down and decided that she was going to take a nap, Jazzy would turn around and cry because her cat wasn't giving her attention anymore. It was never ending. When Jazzy would call her big sister to talk, she never really called to talk to Haley. She called to talk to the little kids. She called to talk to Zephyr and Kieran and Ember. It was her excuse. It was sheer torment for Haley. She loved going to the arcade and spending hours with her sister Nessa and her cousin Carmen, or swimming with Adrian. She was never ashamed of who she was. She is and will forever be dearly missed. We could go on forever and ever about our favorite memories about Jazzy, and we would like to open the floor to anybody that would like to share for the next 15 minutes or so. If you wrote something on one of the cards and you want to come up and share it, we would love that, because I can't construe it as well as you would, as it's your memory. We would love to keep the ones in the basket. I have some plans for those in the future for the kids, for the family to reminisce over in the future as well. If you didn't write a memory down, it's not too late. If you just want to come up and share something, we would love to hear that too.
So, one of my favorite memories I have of Jasmine. I was stationed in Hawaii, and Jasmine couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 months old. We were going to the commissary, and as we were getting out of the car to walk into the commissary, I remember having to sneeze. And so, as most people do when they sneeze, they and I swear, right after I sneezed, I heard this little coming from the shopping cart. And that was my daughter. I remember that she wanted to be like me growing up. She would always wait for me to come home. Casey said that she would be waiting by the front door just to wait for me to walk through the door, and she would be fussy, and as soon as I got home, all of that fussiness went away. I'm gonna miss my baby.
I didn't get to know Jasmine as well as I would have liked to. We would ask her to visit, and she did. And every time she was just so happy to be included, and she was just happy to be there doing whatever we were doing with her family. My husband Nick couldn't be here, but he adored Jasmine, and he would come over and start teasing her about how tall she was. He called her his little friend. And the height was one thing. He would also tease her about being 12 when she was 15, and no, you couldn't be more than 12. It's impossible. And she just laughed, and she never got upset when he would tease her like that. And it's happened before where he teases somebody in our family, and there's upset among us, and Jasmine just thought it was hilarious. Then she would laugh about it, and she'd tease him right back and hit him on the arm. I went direct from her grandma's house, I think, here he said, and just talking to her on the way back, she started talking about the books that she was reading, and I feel so awful that I don't remember what book she was talking about. Because I was driving, and it was just wish I didn't paid a little bit more attention. I wish I got to know her better. Because she was such a fun kid. She was, like I said, just always wanted to be involved and included.
I remember when we were little, we hated each other. Neighborhood was a feud. And then me and Jasmine were over at our friend Presley's house. She was friends with Presley, I was friends with Presley, but we hated each other. And then she handed me this little note and said, "Do you want to be friends?" And there was a checkbox for yes or no. And I said, "Screw it." And I checked yes. 9 years later, we're still best friends, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. And I remember one day we're sitting in Jasmine's living room with her mom, and she sits there, she goes, "Mom, me and Jeannie, we're soulmates." And her mom's like, "Do you guys know what that means?" I'm like, "Yeah, it means you spend every single day together." And her mom's like, "No." And so then we realized that it's platonic soulmates, and it's been a joke ever since. And her mom never lets it go.
Sorry, I actually have one more. This is not mine though. My niece, Monica, she's the oldest of our cousins, sent her thoughts on Jasmine, and I just need to find it. Monica was saying she was my favorite cousin. I knew that we played a lot when we were babies, or we were actually a little older than that. But that changed when we moved. I have few memories of her since we lived different lives, but she was special. She symbolized my extended family. When she came out for my graduation with the rest of the family, it meant the world to me since I didn't get to grow up with a big family. I remember when we were down in our garage waiting, when she told me that I was one of her favorite cousins. I was honestly in disbelief because I feel like we all say that to all of our family. But in that moment, it made me feel like the cousin I've always wanted for myself, for her, or even for that fraction of a second, like a big sister, the way I feel for my brother. The last time I got a chance to see her was a few years later. Brian and I pushed to see her, and we knew she had been asking to see us too. I know I was so excited to connect and talk with her. I missed her like I always missed the rest of my family. She has, and will always put a smile on my face when I think of her. She will always be with us in our hearts. Our memories of her are what we will think of and think back to with love and appreciation for our time with her.
There was just like this one quote that I read from Jasmine. She was always wanting to be who she was. So there's just this quote I wanted to say. Be who you are, say what you say, because the people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't matter.
Anybody else?
Thank you so much to all of those that shared those sweet memories. I know that there are many more sweet memories of Jasmine, and I would just encourage you to maybe, if you don't feel comfortable sharing them here, to write those down and at a time that you feel appropriate to share those with family and friends. Because, I know that there's many special memories out there of Jasmine. I want to take just a brief minute here, just share a few thoughts with you that have been on my mind before we conclude this portion of the service. I've had a few days now to kind of be considering what I might share, and this is tough. This is very, very tough, and there's this life that we're all in the middle of, this ride that we call life, and each and every one of us are trying to figure it out as we go, and we're trying to do our best. And we have some amazing people in our life. We have friends and family that are there for the ups and the downs and everything in between. And there's nothing that we can predict. There's nothing that we can foresee. We don't know what's going to happen the next minute or the next hour or the next day. And so we try to do our best to live in the moment, and live day by day, and be the best that we can be, and do the best that we can do. And unfortunately, sometimes life throws some curveballs at us, things that we weren't expecting, and things that are extremely difficult and challenging. This day being one of those things that is extremely difficult and challenging. I know that there are many who have various different emotions right now, feelings of grief and sorrow and emptiness, and hopefully at the conclusion of today there is some closure with that, but it will be many days and weeks and even years, and maybe not even ever in this life where those feelings go away. One of the most important things that we can do is we can be there as friends and family, and we can lift each other up and support each other through the trying times of the future. There's nothing that I can say that would bring comfort or peace or solace in a perfect way. But I do want to point out that there is one individual that can bring that perfect peace and that perfect solace, and that's Jesus Christ. One of the things that has been on my mind is the various different titles of Jesus Christ that he was called by, and I want to share just a few of them with you real quickly. Throughout the scriptures, he's called the Messiah, he's called the Christ, he's called the creator of this and other worlds, he's called the advocate with the Father, he's called Emmanuel, and he has various different titles that he's called by in the scriptures, but I think one of the most important ones, and the one that I want to share with you today, is his title of the Prince of Peace. And I hope that each of you know that Jesus Christ is the Prince of Peace. Because of Jesus Christ and because of his atonement, each and every one of us can find solace and can find peace and can find joy in this mortal journey. Just quickly, I want to share with you one of my favorite scriptures that talks about Jesus Christ and why he can do this. Talking about his atonement, it says, "And he shall go forth suffering pains and afflictions and temptations of every kind. And this, that the word might be fulfilled, which saith, he will take upon him the pains and the sicknesses of his people. And he will take upon him death, that he may loose the bands of death which bind his people. And he will take upon him their infirmities, that his bowels may be filled with mercy according to the flesh, that he may know, according to the flesh, how to succor his people according to their infirmities. And I love that scripture for two reasons. The first being, because of Jesus Christ, we'll be able to see Jasmine again. Because of Jesus Christ, the obstacle of physical death has been overcome through his resurrection. And second, as it talks about, Jesus Christ is the one that can succor each of us. As we face the difficult and challenging times that lie ahead, Jesus Christ is the one that knows perfectly how each and every one of us feel. And he's the one that can reach out to us and can lift us and can help us to be strengthened so that we can shoulder the burden that's been placed upon our shoulders. Brothers and sisters, I just want to share with you my testimony of Jesus Christ. I share with you my witness that he lives. I share with you that I know that he is the Prince of Peace and that he knows each and every one of you individually and wants nothing more than for you to find joy in this life and to be united as a family in the life to come. And I leave that with you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. At the conclusion of this service, I want to recognize the honorary pallbearers, and forgive me if I don't get these names correct. Javier and Emiliano Patino, and Emiliano Patino, and Kiram and Zephyr, is that right? How do you say the last name? Matulich. Okay. Pallbearers today will be Logan Anderson, George Patino, Jason Tetrick, Damian Cristobal, Cam Tetrick, and Robert Bartholomew. The service will be for the burial will be over at Payson City Cemetery. The address for that is 400 North, 800 East. And then would also like to just let everybody know that there will be, for family and those that have been invited, a luncheon at the church. It's 274 South Main, so it's the church across from Memorial Park following the service over at the cemetery. We will conclude this portion of the service with a closing prayer, and that will be given by Courtney Tetrick.
Just real quick, when we first met Jazzy, she was all of 6 years old, and she was a little ball of fire. We were doing a 4th of July party for her because Haley asked us to. And all the family came, Casey and Vanessa. We were at the fireworks stand, and she wanted this pink sparkler sword. Those of you that know me know I do not do pink. So she turned to my husband and said, "You're gonna buy this for me because she won't." And Jason just looked at her and said, "Are you sure about that?" And she said, "Yeah," and she walked away. Little did she know, we ended up buying the whole box of pink sparkler swords. And they played with pink sparkler swords all day until that night with fireworks. So I'll just share that. Jazzy, as we bow our heads gathered around you to celebrate your life, we want you to know that in the 17 years it was allowed to burn, your light burned bright, warm, and it touched everyone in every path you crossed. We celebrate you as a daughter, a sister, a granddaughter, a cousin, an aunt, a friend, someone who was bright, loved, and creative, who stood for who she was and let her rainbow of talents touch others to be who they are and or aspire to be. As we mourn the end of your path on earth, we celebrate and rejoice in your next path and journey. We'll see you on the other side of the rainbow to dance with you in your beautiful wings. Blessed be your new path, and may your flame always burn bright and fill us with warmth of memories that we have and share with you. Amen.
The audience will please rise.